I don't have a bowl. Do you have a bowl?
No.
Wait, let me.
Okay.
Okay, start
Sorry.
with brushes. Let's get it.
Oh, that other one goes right over here. Oh, just okay. Yeah, it's nice. Right there. Oh.
30.
All right. Let me know when you're ready with that.
Resiliency skills include mindfulness and reframing. The remainder of this training module will focus on mindfulness, and why developing a day-to-day mindfulness practice will help you build resilience to stressful situations. To understand why mindfulness is so important, let's look at some additional details on how the brain and nervous system work together, and why mindfulness can have a positive effect in handling stress. For this tutorial, we are going to dive deeper into the limbic system within the brain and its relationship with the autonomic nervous system. When someone experiences a stressful event, the amygdala sends a distress signal to the hypothalamus, which is just below the thalamus. This functions like a command center, communicating with the rest of the body through the autonomic nervous system, which controls such involuntary body functions as breathing, blood pressure, heartbeat, and the dilation or constriction of key blood vessels and the bronchioles within the lungs. The autonomic nervous system has two components, the sympathetic nervous system and the parasympathetic nervous system. The sympathetic nervous system functions like a gas pedal in a car. It triggers the fight or flight response, providing the body with a burst of energy so that it can respond to perceived dangers. The parasympathetic nervous system acts like a brake. It promotes the rest and digest response that calms the body down after the danger has passed. After the amygdala sends a distress signal, the hypothalamus activates the sympathetic nervous system by sending signals through the autonomic nerves to the adrenal glands. These glands respond by pumping the hormone epinephrine, also known as adrenaline, into the bloodstream. As epinephrine circulates through the body, it brings on a number of physiological changes. The heart beats faster than normal, pushing blood to the muscles, heart, and other vital organs. Pulse rate and blood pressure go up. The person undergoing these changes also starts to breathe more rapidly. Small airways in the lungs open wide. This way, the lungs can take in as much oxygen as possible with each breath. Extra oxygen is sent to the brain, increasing alertness. Sight, hearing, and other senses become sharper. Meanwhile, epinephrine triggers the release of blood sugar, glucose, and fats from temporary storage sites in the body. These nutrients flood into the bloodstream, supplying energy to all parts of the body. All of these changes happen so quickly that people aren't aware of them. In fact, the wiring is so efficient that the amygdala and hypothalamus start this cascade even before the brain's visual centers have had a chance to fully process what is happening. That's why people are able to jump out of the path of an oncoming car even before they think about what they are doing. As the initial surge of epinephrine subsides, the hypothalamus activates the second component of the stress response system known as the HPA axis. This network consists of the hypothalamus, the pituitary gland, and the adrenal glands. The HPA axis relies on a series of hormonal signals to keep the sympathetic nervous system, the gas pedal, pressed down. If the brain continues to perceive something as dangerous, the hypothalamus releases corticotropin-releasing hormone, CRH, which travels to the pituitary gland, triggering the release of adrenocorticotropic hormone, ACTH. This hormone travels to the adrenal glands, prompting them to release cortisol. The body thus stays revved up and on high alert. When the threat passes, cortisol levels fall. The parasympathetic nervous system, the brake, then dampens the stress response. Many people are unable to find a way to put the brakes on stress. Chronic low-level stress keeps the HPA axis activated, much like a motor that is idling too high for too long. After a while, this has an effect on the body that contributes to the health problems associated with chronic stress. Persistent epinephrine surges can damage blood vessels and arteries, increasing blood pressure and raising risk of heart attacks or strokes. Elevated cortisol levels create physiological changes that help to replenish the body's energy stores that are depleted during the stress response. But they inadvertently contribute to the buildup of fat tissue and to weight gain. For example, cortisol increases appetite so that people will want to eat more to obtain extra energy. It also increases storage of unused nutrients as fat. Fortunately, people can employ mindfulness to engage the parasympathetic nervous system to break and dampen the stress response, but this requires training and practice. In order to be faster at engaging the parasympathetic nervous system to break and dampen stress response, you will need to incorporate a day-to-day mindfulness practice. Think of this as workout training, exercising and strengthening your parasympathetic nervous system. The scene that follows is the mindfulness training. Once you have completed the training, you can proceed to the stress response exercises. We recommend that you periodically repeat the mindfulness practice, followed by the stress response exercises. The goal is to speed up engaging your parasympathetic nervous system to break and dampen stress response through practice over several sessions.
Mindfulness and resilience go hand in hand. Developing a day-to-day mindfulness practice will help you build resilience to stressful situations. One mindfulness practice is intentional breathwork that can calm your mind and body. The late Buddhist monk Thich Nhat Hanh once wrote, "Breathing in, I calm body and mind. Breathing out, I smile. Dwelling in the present moment, I know this is the only moment." Your parasympathetic nervous system is responsible for relaxing your sympathetic nervous system and helping you calm down. Breathing techniques like 4-7-8 breathing can play a huge role in activating your parasympathetic nervous system and helping you to shift back toward tranquility. In this session, you will learn and practice the 4-7-8 breathing technique. The technique involves inhaling through your nose for 4 counts, holding your breath for 7 counts, and then slowly exhaling through your mouth for 8 counts. This cycle is repeated 4 times. Note that when you first start practicing this technique, you may experience a little bit of lightheadedness or shortness of breath. But this is just a function of learning to breathe more slowly. It takes some time for the nervous system to respond to this type of breathwork. The more we do it, the more we allow our bodies to go into that parasympathetic mode. If you regularly practice 4-7-8 breathing, especially during times when you're not particularly stressed, your body will actually learn to incorporate it into your go-to stress response. All right then, let's begin. Breathe in for 4 counts. Hold for 7 counts. Breathe out for 8 counts. Good work. You've completed 4 cycles of the 4 to 7 8 breathing exercise. As you become more skilled at 4 to 7 8 breathing, you'll be able to slow things down for deeper relaxation benefits. The counting and the ratio of your breath will stay the same, but you can readjust the pace to your comfort. Practice makes progress. The more you do 4, 7, 8 breathing, the better at it you'll become, and the more your body will begin to incorporate it into your stress response. Practice this breathing technique twice a day. Make it a habit. Identify 2 recurring moments during your day that you can designate for practicing 4, 7, 8 breathing. Whether you do it when you wake up, after you get off work, or right before you get in bed, setting a time for it can help you to stick with it and adopt it as an ongoing practice. You're going to see results really quickly. Good luck!
The goal of this exercise is to employ the mindfulness breathing technique to calm yourself and strengthen your parasympathetic nervous system to handle a stressful situation. Use the 4-7-8 breathing technique. When you are ready, press the red button. Then engage your prefrontal cortex to rationalize what is reality. Great job!